So when Nothing announced Phone 2, their successor to Phone 1, they said you could pick it up in New York on July 13th at their first US drop.
So naturally, I booked a flight from Michigan to New York. I hopped on a plane as soon as possible. Once I landed in New York, I grabbed an Uber and headed over to the city to my hotel. It was a pretty quick drive from Newark. My hotel was really solid and just blocks away from the actual Nothing drop, which worked out perfectly. I quickly got into my hotel room and then figured I would walk down the street and grab some pizza. I ended up going with this margarita pizza and it was absolutely phenomenal. After I ate that pizza, I had a few drinks and I hung out and got some work done in the meantime as I dreamt about upgrading my phone 1 that I've been using for the last year to phone 2. I woke up the next day on July 13th, super pumped and ready for not only hitting the streets of New York, but this phenomenal breakfast. I then hopped in the shower, I grabbed my shoes, grabbed my Nothing phone, really all my gear, and then I headed out to go check out the drop site to see how it was shaping up that morning. It was pretty early. I do have to say it was a very hot day on the 13th here. It was like 90 degrees first thing in the morning, super humid, but nonetheless a really great sunny day here in New York for the Nothing drop. When I got down there in the morning, they were just setting up. You could see the cones, the barrier, really the whole area where they were going to have it blocked off to form the line, and then that famous Nothing kiosk where the phone would actually be picked up once you had purchased it. For the drop, I had a few margaritas with some of the awesome community members, and since this started at 7 p.m., around 5:30 we headed to the line, which had already been starting to form, and it was actually quite packed around 6-ish just before the actual drop and continued to grow throughout that evening before the actual countdown began.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Still editing this in my hotel room, and I forgot right after the countdown there was this random impromptu band, but it actually kind of worked out really well and was pretty amusing to everybody in the line. The line progressed very quickly and I was able to get my phone to pretty quick.
One thing I really want to note about the drop yesterday here in New York is just the sense of overall community. The community really showed up yesterday for the event. It was such a fun time with everyone there, and it was super impressive to see how smooth everything went. So kudos to Nothing and the entire team behind the drop yesterday. Really appreciate all of that hard work. You could really tell that there was a ton of hard work and dedication that went into yesterday's event. It was well organized and everyone had a excellent time. I have to say too, it was very impressive to see the entire Nothing staff, including Carl, standing outside greeting every single customer. It's just, you don't get that with any other company. It was super impressive and much appreciated by every single person who was there. It was such a fun time. Again, thank you and kudos to everybody on the Nothing team. Such an excellent drop-in event.
So after getting my phone too, kind of hung out around the area. Carl did some press and wrapped up with the remaining customers all the way to the last customer. For the remainder of the evening, we hung out at the bar right next to the drop with the entire Nothing crew. It was absolutely phenomenal, so much fun, had an absolute blast with everyone there, had a ton of really great conversations about Nothing, about technology. It was a lot of fun with a lot of great friends, and it is something that I'm going to remember forever. It was an excellent time. By this point, though, I was absolutely exhausted from the entire day, so I headed back to my hotel, and I actually set the Nothing Phone 2 down and ended up just falling asleep. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly unbox it this morning before I head to my flight to leave New York. I ended up going with the base model while I was here in the dark gray color. I have the dark gray color with the higher end specs coming from my pre-order, but I'm really excited to jump right into this. I went with gray just because it's the new colorway. The glass on the back right out of the box, I have to say, feels very premium. Having that curved glass on the back is very unique, very interesting in the hand. I have to say, right out of the box, you're going to notice it right away. Comparing it to Phone 1, you can kind of see some of the differences here from an overall build and design standpoint. You can notice that the glyph lights are a little bit different. The sides of the device are a little bit different as well. I really like that back glass though. It feels very unique, very interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and boot this up now. Immediately you're gonna notice the differences with the new Nothing OS on Phone 2. This is absolutely about all the customization and all the widgets that Nothing offers. You have the Glyph setup, which is going to take you through some of the essentials for Glyph. And then right from there, you can actually pick whether or not you want default Android or the Nothing. Obviously, I'm going Nothing, and it looks absolutely phenomenal. In the box, you're also going to get a really cool SIM ejector tool similar to Phone 1, and then the new Nothing USB-C cable, which is just so good looking. Then, of course, you're going to get some reading material.
So after using Phone 1 for over a year now, I'm super excited to dive into Phone 2 and give you all of my thoughts over time, so definitely subscribe and stay tuned for that. As always, thank you for watching, take care, and stay safe.